This is Moriah. She's smart, witty, and incredibly fun. And an amazing creative.
This is Toni. She's a little wild, refreshingly candid, and an overcomer. And she makes me laugh. We want to invite you to join us on a cross-country journey as we meet new friends.
We'll laugh and cry and have our faith challenged to the core.
We'll be learning from women who've thrived in adversity.
Women with the courage to wait and listen to the voice of God. Women of Moxie.
Today we're meeting with Joni Eareckson Tada, artist and founder of Joni and Friends, a ministry that meets the needs of people with disabilities at a global level. As a quadriplegic who's dealt with a lifetime of physical pain, Joni knows the unexpected gift of hope and strength in the face of immense challenges. So here we go, Joni Eareckson Tada.
Oh my goodness. That's all I can even say.
I don't ever want to not be on the beach.
I know.
This is the last episode of Unshakable Moxie, and we are finishing with a sage.
With a sage. She's the oldest guest that we've had.
Yeah.
Wow.
Eldest and maybe wisest.
Maybe wisest. Like a lot of the other women that we interviewed, they have, 10 years, 15 years of like having leadership, but like sis got like 50, I think. I guess I just didn't realize how, I don't even want to say big of a deal, but like just how impactful she's been in the world.
Yeah.
And I think I'm excited about that.
This woman, I can't wait to meet her. I'm also excited to just get a little closer to the ocean because here's the thing.
You're like I love Joni, I'm down.
You can't come to California and not just let your toes hit the water.
Is it cold?
It's freezing.
Okay.
Especially around this time of year. Yeah.
All right, I'm down for the cause.
Yeah.
We gotta do this for you.
Let's do it.
I'm ready.
Let's do it. The question is, can I fit either of these in my suitcase?
Because they coming home with mama.
Well, here's the thing. I'm very thankful that I have actually never heard of her before.
Yeah.
But I told my parents about her, and they were like, Joni Eareckson, oh my gosh, she helped. She was such an encourager to my faith journey. I was like, what? And I feel like a lot of people in our parents' generation have been very impacted by her ministry, her work, her story. So I'm stepping into this meeting with a lot of reverence. How are you feeling?
I'm really excited about it because I think we have talked about suffering, we've talked about pain, but I do think there's a difference between psychological, emotional, mental pain and physical pain.
Ooh.
Like, I think we're gonna see a different side of what faith actually means, of what belief in God means, of surrender, of sorrow, of suffering.
Do you think she's gonna be in pain, like, as we're talking to her?
If I'm honest with you, I'm a little nervous about that. I don't want her to be uncomfortable.
Right.
But then I'm like, is that just my own insecurities and my own projection of like her and who she is? Because she is a woman who has a strong faith, who has radically changed the world. And I think I just want to hold that tension really well, and I want to honor her really well and her humanity. And so, but yeah, I do have like some fears. In the building.
What are you doing?
In the house.
We made it.
I can't feel it, but it sure looked good.
Oh, it felt good. Hello, somebody. Look at how beautiful.
Thank you. Welcome to the house that Jesus and Disability built. I want you to see this. Okay, when this building was designed, they said, what do you want to showcase in the lobby? I want to showcase Jesus.
Come on.
This big cross, you can't miss it.
Come on.
And of course, look at this incredible ramp, and it's all about access.
And it's all about access and Jesus.
Yep. Access to the Lord. And I chose this, underneath the water here, chose this Bible verse, Amos chapter 5, verse 24. But let justice roll on like a river.
Yeah.
Righteousness like a never-ending stream. Girls, I don't know how many developing nations you've been to, but children with disabilities, women with disabilities, they are on the lowest rung of whatever socioeconomic ladder there is. So here at Joni and Friends, we're all about helping women and children with disabilities to find their place in the body of Christ. So that's what that verse is all about.
I love that, John.
Yeah, I do too. Come on, girls. Come on down this way. Heading for my office.
When she said 11 years old, I thought, okay, we
Got to keep up with the wheelchair.
and we're off. And we're
Come on,
off.
girls. We're off.
It's the best.
Okay, girls, here we go. Come on to my art studio. Come on in. This is my
mine.
place. Now, I have chewed through countless pencils to render my drawings and paintings. I'm gonna test you, girls.
What?
So this is what I want you to try and copy. It's just a very simple composition: a wheat field and a
That's very simple.
sky above you.
She said that's
And
simple.
so start with this. Okay, in the mouth right there.
Which color?
We're gonna start with this.
The beige.
I'm about to mess up my
Start
lip
with that.
gloss.
Oh, I know the lip gloss is gonna go. Okay, look at that rendering and just start with
Okay.
the wheat field.
Okay, she's doing a straight line across.
Oh, God. Okay.
Okay, the question is molars or front teeth?
It doesn't have to be real fancy, but don't chomp down too hard. You don't want to reach the lead of the pencil.
I think I did got a little bit in the mouth.
That's okay. Try and get some nice clouds.
Does your jaw get tired after a while?
Oh, it does. I get a jaw ache, and I can't work more than a few hours, but I love creating, you know?
Wow.
You got to do as much as you can with what you got left.
If anybody wants me ever to be quiet, this is the way, because I am really so focused on what. Look at me go.
I've never seen her more.
I'm so quiet and focused.
It doesn't have to be.
She's so committed.
Let's
She's
see.
so
Let's see.
committed.
Joni.
She's
Let's
not
see.
ready.
Oh, let's see. Let's see what you're doing.
Okay, you want to see my progress?
Yeah, you girls are game. What?
What?
Are you liking the progress so far?
Why did you do
Mariah.
well at the bottom?
Are you kidding me?
Mariah. Many people do not do as good as that. Toni, this is here. I'll show you that close up.
She's like, come see my
It's a
beautiful
wheat
painting.
field here in the sky. Got a long way to go.
Let's take that thing down.
Oh man, I've got so much further to do. But you know what? God made us to create. Whether you bake, whether you cook, whether you're a woodworker, whether you like to tinker on cars, whether you like to plant a garden, He made us to create. And I love getting in here and just, okay, so I can only do it with my mouth. But it's such fun.
Johnny, you love the Lord. Like, when did you get saved? Out the womb? Like, what's happening here? Okay, 11? What happened?
No. Jesus didn't mean a lot to me. He was tucked away in my back pocket. Back in high school, I was screwing around with my boyfriend on Friday nights.
Whoa, okay.
I know, it was an awful thing to
Let's
say.
just go there. It's okay.
But then I'd wake up on Sunday morning and I'd go to church and confess it all and say, oh, Jesus, I'm so sorry I did that. I promise next Friday night I won't do that stuff in the backseat of my boyfriend's car again. I promise.
This is my life right now.
And so
Are you talking
I
about
go
me?
back the next Sunday and I have to repeat the whole cycle. It goes on and on. And finally I'm thinking, I can't get out of this. I am stuck in my sin. There's nothing I can do. I'm so enslaved to my lusts. God help me do something, anything in my life, because I'm making a mess of it. And I don't want to go off to college and sleep with other men. I need to do something. And I prayed that prayer, and I broke my neck about 2-3 months later. And I'm lying in the hospital paralyzed. This is right after the doctors told me you'll never walk again, never use your hands again. And I'm thinking, this is your idea of an answer to that prayer.
Okay, right.
Like you're never going to be trusted with another one of my prayers again. I was so angry against God. I was so depressed. And I am so grateful, though, girls, for just good girlfriends who just treated me not like a cripple, but like their friend. I was their friend. And I think it was their love that began to heal me. And one night they picked me up, drove me downtown to Baltimore City to the Pennsylvania Railway Station, 11 o'clock at night in this massive cavern of a train station where all the acoustics were wonderful because, you know, I love to sing. They knew I liked to sing. And I think they thought that might be part of my healing. So anyway, I'm sitting there in the railway station singing with all these friends of mine. There's nobody else in this massive station except a couple of sailors or a janitor pushing a mop. And then this official guard came up to us and said, "You people, You see that no loitering sign up there? Get out of here. You don't belong here. It's 12 o'clock at night. Get out. And you, he said to me, you there in the wheelchair, put it back where you found it right now. I said, but sir, it's my wheelchair. Don't give me any lip, he said to me. He said, you put that thing back where you found it right now and get out of here. That guy was so silly, we couldn't believe he was that blind to my disability, but we're just hooting it and hollering all the way back up to my house. And that night when they laid me in bed about 1 o'clock in the morning, my girlfriend leaned down and took my hand. I couldn't feel it, but she took my hand and said, thank you. This is the first time I ever heard you call it my wheelchair. She said, thank you for owning your weakness. Thank you for not rejecting it, but owning it, for buying into it, because it really helps me own mine. And to me, that was a eureka moment. Like, there's something about embracing who you are not and all you cannot be, and all the weakness and limitations and pain and all the horror of your circumstance. Something about embracing and saying, I'm taking a deep breath. I don't know how to live like this, but God, there's something about your power in my weakness that I need to find out about it. Okay, girls, time for lunch.
Oh, it is.
Women, before you sit down, grab my ribs and just push them that away. Push my ribs.
This way?
Further. There you go.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I can't handle a spoon unless I'm upright. You just did it.
Wow.
Did I do it?
Yeah, you did it. Grab that spoon. See that? And see the end of it right here?
Yeah.
What you got to do is put it right in that little socket right there. See that?
Inside of it?
No. There's a
This
little
way.
pocket.
I found it.
Did you find it?
I see it.
Where is it?
Right there.
Perfect. Push it in. Push.
It's like a secret
push it in.
tunnel.
Is that it?
Okay, I got to push it a bit further, Mariah. There you go. Oh, girls, what do I do without you?
We just killed it.
Now we can sit down and have lunch.
Oh my gosh.
It takes a while
You're
for me to...
teaching us all the things.
This is amazing.
Okay, over there, that drawing, I rendered that shortly after I was in occupational therapy, and the occupational therapist said, draw something, show what's going on inside of yourself. And I do that because for me, it was like, oh God, you expect me to do this? How can I do this?
That's a scary portrait to me.
Yeah. Well, suffering is an unwelcomed guest, but it's a guest nonetheless. It is it's a frightening friend, but it is a friend nonetheless because it ushers us into a relationship with Christ and his suffering.
Okay, so you talked earlier about you being like super angry. When did you stop being angry with God?
Oh, I think it was about 4 years after my diving accident. I mean, so much of my anger, I was boiling inside, steaming inside. And I had to quit focusing inward and take my anger and turn it Godward. Where are you, God? Why would you allow this to happen? I mean, those are tough questions, but they engage us with God. I mean, he'll take on any question.
Yeah.
Won't he? He'll just take it on. How could you allow this, that? And then you trust him with the answers, and slowly they come. Not overnight. Sometimes they don't come till the other side of eternity. Now, one of you guys, grab a tissue over there.
Okay,
grab that. Who's the mother in this crowd? Are you a mother?
Not me.
Honestly, I have
Mother?
two kids.
You want it
Who's
in
got a
one of
child?
the nose?
No, I want to wipe my nose.
Okay, nose or eyes?
Okay, that's real hard. Do either of you have children?
What's unfortunate is that I'm the one with 2 kids and she is the one that's crushing it with the motherly thing. I'm just like, maybe I'm tired of wiping noses. I'm like,
you know
I'm not
what?
doing
You
this
should
at
be
this
a
time.
good nose wiper if you have children.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
always
She's
try to
so
sit
great.
next to a mother. Come on, I need a sip of something to drink. I'm gonna hold this up.
And while you're drinking, I'm going to ask you a question.
Ooh, okay, here we go.
I read that you first became a quadriplegic, but you didn't necessarily have chronic pain until later in life. Is that right?
I don't know how to explain chronic pain for a quadriplegic, but I have it. And honestly, Mariah, it makes my quadriplegia feel like a walk in the park. Isn't it true, girls, that suffering is a textbook that'll teach you who you are? I mean, it sandblasts you to the core. You have nothing left. Toni, reach behind you. I got a couple of gifts.
What?
Right there. Reach behind you.
Oh, snap.
I got to sing my way through suffering, as do you too.
Oh, snap.
Do I have you right? Do I have you pegged? Do you have to sing your way through suffering?
I do. I'm a worshiper. I can't sing that well, but shoot, I will belt it out.
Well, these are the songs that I have memorized. And in the middle of the night when I cannot sleep because of my pain, don't want to wake my husband up. I can't ask him to come in and turn me for the 10th time. And so instead, I quiet my anxiety by just singing, whisper singing so as to not wake anybody up. Immortal, invisible, God only wise, in light inaccessible, hid from our eyes. Just quietly sing to Jesus.
That's how you get
And that's how I get through the night. And oh my goodness, by the time morning comes, I'm ready to pray and say, fill me up, Lord.
Oh my
this is
God.
beautiful.
I hope you enjoy it.
You.
All right, Johnny, listen, when you gave us this book, you know who I saw at the front was your man. Talk to us about Sweet Ken.
Oh my goodness.
Who is this man?
He is a wonderful man. I was sitting in church, bored with the sermon, started praying for the back of this man's head. Didn't see his face. Did not see his face. So we happened to be introduced to mutual friends. And the first thing I honestly said to Ken, you can ask him, turn around and let me see the back of your head. It was my husband. It became my husband. So now 40 years later, he's such a great man, such a good caregiver.
40 years.
When we had our 40th wedding anniversary, I thought, let's go someplace. And we asked to borrow a friend's cabin, but I wanted Ken to get a break, get a real rest from all my quadriplegic stuff. Said, Ken, you take the bedroom at the fireplace down there, and my helper and I will be at this end of the cabin. And so, I laid in bed, got all tucked in, and my helper went down the hallway a bit and shut the door. We knew there was a monitor between our rooms. But at 1 a.m., when I started to get in real horrible pain and I needed to be repositioned because I can't move when I'm in bed, gravity's my enemy. And I started calling, hello, I need help. No answer. So I started screaming louder, hello, I need help, come and help me. And still no answer. So I started to panic. I thought, Jesus, I cannot lie in this position until 7 o'clock in the morning. And so I started screaming. Every Bible verse I could think of, every promise I could think of. Because, it says in Psalm 119, verse 50, my comfort in suffering is this, that your promise renews my life. So I said, okay, God, you promised that you're never going to leave me or forsake me. I started screaming. Okay, you promised me that you will be my ever-present help in this trouble. I'm just screaming one promise after the next, after the next. Finally, at about 2 a.m., I'm exhausted. My throat is sore. I've gone through about 75 promises from the Bible, screaming them out. She burst into the room, and I wasn't angry at her. I wasn't resentful. I wasn't like, why didn't you turn your volume up? I just let it go. And I tell you what, something happened that night, girls. It was like God came down with his wrench and he ratcheted up my faith. I just was raised up on some new level of confidence in him. It was just, all because, my comfort in suffering was this. His promises renewed my life. What a life-transforming moment, but what a horrible moment. What a lonely moment that was.
Millions of people deal with chronic pain. Mine is less chronic and more episodic, but when I am in those moments of pain, I am angry. I'm angry. God, why? Why would you? And I don't think saying scriptures or singing psalms or having people pray over me, I don't think that it makes the pain any better. And I struggle with this concept of wanting to think positively, but not have toxic positivity where you're in denial of what's happening.
My goodness, why do that? You got all the book of the Psalms to express all that lament, all that groaning, all that, I can't do this, all that Job, where is God? Show up. I cannot handle this. And I think pain, Moriah and Toni, it's like so many of us, it's like, okay, in the Christian life, we go out the front door, we've taken our shower, we've eaten our breakfast, we've done our devotional time, and it's, okay, God, I'll take it from here. And I'll check in with you if I need you, thank you. And it's like, pain don't let you do that.
Yeah.
Pain stops you at the front door, doesn't it? And just you're not going anywhere without Jesus. And it really is all about Jesus, Moriah, because in my suffering, I trust a man who was ripped to shreds, not even recognizable as a human, and he poured himself out for me. And I can't refuse that kind of love. I can't turn my back on it. I can't walk away from it. I've got to deal with it. And so the cross is where we're really changed when we encounter Christ. It's really all about him.
My husband's favorite hymn came out of some of the greatest suffering.
Ooh.
Horatio Spafford, 1876.
I'm in.
Okay, you girls got to start it. You start it.
Please start it.
When peace like a river attended my way,
I can't sing.
when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul.
The one and only. Oh, I'm so happy to have you in our house.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, my turn.
Good to see you, Tony.
Hello,
My turn.
I'm
God bless you. Come on in.
Oh, yay! It's so cozy.
I have something for you guys.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Yep, just your favorite drinks.
Coffee for you, and
We
there's
got a
some
little tea
anti-coffee
for you.
for you.
Thanks. Bless you, love you, sweetheart.
Thank you so much.
Got some girl time in here.
I love girl. Bye, Ken. Sorry, you can't be a part of the girl time. Sweet Ken.
I was last night really thinking about your life, your experience, and what has been so inspiring about the way that you've communicated your story to us is, first and foremost, I admire you. I am jealous of you. I'm jealous of your faith, of your faith, of your mental
big.
fortitude. And
It's
yet
big.
you have the strength and the courage and the dignity to ask for help. How do you process being the one who's asking for help?
Well, I think people don't like to ask for help. They feel like it's beneath them to ask for help. It shows them to be in a powerless position, a weak position. But isn't that where God wants us? I mean, look at Jesus. I mean, here he is, the Son of God. Oh my goodness, he's stripped naked on the cross. The shame of it all. And yet the most powerful thing in the universe was occurring right there at the cross.
Yep.
And I think it's a parallel for us, don't you think? It's like when we are at our worst points of weakness and we're humbled before others, mysterious, wonderful things happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was an athlete. I was a horseback rider. I played tennis. I like to swim, hike, camp, do everything.
All
and
things.
suddenly I'm a quadriplegic. And I remember I came home from rehab once and I was so depressed and I'm banging my head against the wall. My sister comes running in, what are you doing? And snot's running down my face, tears. I don't know who I am. And you understand. I mean, because I'm a quadriplegic. A good friend of mine said, let's just sit on scripture for a minute. Colossians chapter 3, you are hid with Christ and Christ is hid in God. Like, those little Russian dolls.
Yeah, little nesting dolls.
You
They're my
unscrew
That's
line.
right, and then
there's
the
another
next little
one
baby one
inside.
comes.
Yep. And then you
Yep.
unscrew that. So that's kind of what he said to me. He said, you're inside Christ. Christ is inside God. Johnny, if you get time to know Jesus, you're going to find out who you are because you're hidden in him and him. And to me, Toni and Moriah, that was so liberating. Like, okay, so you're telling me that if I get to know Jesus and who he is and his character qualities and the way he lives and what his choices are and what he prefers and his values, and I'm going to find out who I am. Man, it's a hard road.
Yeah.
But it's a good road.
It's a good
It's a
road.
deep one.
You know, when you said that, I thought about like the Apostle Paul when he's like, who am I? Like, I'm not even worthy enough to be called apostle. And he's always showing up, pointing to Jesus. And I think it's such a tender and surrendered place. And that's hard for me. Like, I'm built for it tough. You know what I'm saying? And my dad was, always very proud of when I was able to not make excuses, which was, don't share any emotion, don't share any doubts, don't share any fears, just be strong and execute. And so tenderness, surrender is really hard for me because it is that exchange of our weakness for God's power. Well, in order to get to the power, you got to get to the weakness. And I think the harder journey is to get to the weakness, is to get to the tender, fragile part.
So there's a facade of power. There is a veneer. Okay, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to obey these rules. I'm going to do the right thing. Right there is ruin. Because when you try to execute out of this exterior of, I'm going to do the right thing, it's going to fall apart. It's got to be motivated, doesn't it, by the Spirit.
I would say like my biggest lie is that like I'm unprotected. Like it's just a thing. Like I was a little girl, had sexual manipulation by older men in my life. And so I grew up thinking that I wasn't protected, that I had to protect myself, that if I was going to be safe, it was going to be up to me. And I just wonder what your thoughts are on that. Like, how do you seek God for refuge when it comes to safety and actually trust that he's going to show up even when bad things happen?
Well, there's so many people who say, oh, God will never give you more than you can handle.
Oh my God.
I don't believe that. God gives us more than we can handle, but sometimes I think it's just enough so that we are decimated, down for the count. We're just reeling over backward, falling flat on the floor. I can't do it. And what do you know? When we're on the floor, God gets down on the floor with us. He puts his face next to us and says, sweetheart, I'm here.
Ooh, that got me.
See you
that one got me.
No, really, I think God will give us more than we can handle so that we can cast ourselves on him and find him on the floor.
Are we looking for answers and relief, or are we looking for comfort and closeness?
Oh, man, I don't. We're all asking why. I asked why when I was, I asked why about my chronic pain. But I don't know that we really want answers. I think when we ask why, if we got answers, they'd just be way too mechanistic. We're like a little child on a bicycle racing down the hill. He hits gravel at the bottom of the hill, makes a right-hand turn. His front tire skids out. The bike clatters to the ground. He falls onto the asphalt. His knee is all scraped up, bleeding. Daddy comes running, and he's holding his bloody leg, and he's screaming, Daddy, why? And how cruel it would be, cruel, if his daddy stood over him with arms folded and said, now, sweetheart, this is why this happened. Watch your trajectory on that turn. Watch the velocity with which you go.
Wow.
Be observant of gravel. I mean, these are all good answers to the question why, right?
Yep.
This is why it happened.
That's good.
And that's not what that child wants. That child wants daddy to reach down, pick him up, press him against his breast, and pat him on the back and say, there, sweetheart. Daddy's here. It's okay. Everything's going to be okay. That's all we want. We just want God to be in the center of our suffering. We want the assurance that everything is going to be okay, that our world is not spinning out of control in some nightmarish chaos. And so God, just like a good daddy, doesn't give answers, but he gives himself.
Yeah.
I so admire your discipline of thought. You really do take every thought captive, and you cling to the scriptures in a way that I don't think I've ever seen before.
I think I wonder what it feels like to get older. Is there fear there? Is there fear of the end? Or what does it look like for my body and my ailments to maybe not be as...
Say no more. I am often afraid of the future because I have pretty bad pain.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine it worse, you know? And I've got I'm in my 70s. I don't know how many more years I got left, but if they're going to be more painful than this, whew, can I do it?
Yeah.
Can I do it? I don't know. I want to finish well. My husband and I talk about it all the time. We want to finish well. We don't want to shame the reputation of Jesus. But sometimes I look at the future and I'm in such pain and I think, can I do this? Will I make it? So, yeah, I have fears. But I also have an answer. And Jesus has gone ahead of me. into that fear.
Yeah.
He has transformed it into a place of hope. And he is going to lead me through it. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of old age and deteriorating disability and chronic pain, I got a shepherd who's already gone before me. He's going to lead me through it.
Yeah.
He'll be there. I got to believe that.
Woo!
I got to believe it, Toni.
Yeah.
So there we go.
I don't think there have been 3 women who are more different than the 3 women at this table. And sitting in your presence and sensing your strength, your smile, your acceptance of God in your life, it's like a gift. And I'm thankful for that.
Well, what I'm
Thank
thankful
you.
for, too, is both of you. I think that we need authentic witnesses of people who are resilient, people who are courageous. And you guys, this is what I've loved about you. You're authentic.
I wish that more people our age listened to people your age. And I wish that more people your age spoke to people our age.
If we're going to be courageous, if we're going to continue to be resilient, we also have to look up and out. But then your generation and the generations beyond us have to reach back. Because we are here and hungry and like, help, what are we doing wrong? What do we need to avoid? It would be great to know, Joni, like what your charge is to us as we like get to 70 somewhat years old.
Very simply, believe Jesus more. Get to know Jesus and follow him closely. Do not let up, pursue him, seek him, run after him. Can you be weak enough?
Yeah.
Can you recognize that that's an asset? Can you boast in your affliction, delight in your infirmity, like the Apostle Paul says?
What do you think is going to be hard for our generation when it comes to that? What do you think we're going to battle up against?
There's so many voices in this generation. There's so much frenetic activity. I think this generation, and even my own generation caught up in it, is just so much noise. Get away, turn off the noise. Sit in front of an open Bible. Ask the Holy Spirit to lead you. Believe Jesus more. Get quiet. Get centered. Because sooner or later, everybody is going to come smack dab up against some hardship in their life that they don't know how to deal with. And they got to turn somewhere. They got to look for hope. And I think, girls, we've been speaking about that hope for the last, 2 days. So there you go. That's what I would say to them. Remember this time together. Remember this.
Seconds to take off, I start to lose my ground. I know I should jump, but I'm stuck looking down. What if I leave and I don't land? This is a risk I never planned. The greater the height, the greater the view. Here off the edge is where I find you.
Joni. Sis changed my life. I think I cried more this episode than any other.
You did. I can attest to
I can attest that I held your hand a few times and I was like, it got me. There's been so many memories like in this short little time.
Right.
But I mean, half a year, man.
Think about the lawn moment in Chattanooga where we're sitting there and we're like, look, we know this is about to be a special journey.
Yeah.
But we also have trust issues.
We're scared.
And I think you and I both knew we had a choice. We could step into this journey going, I'm gonna hold my cards close to my chest.
100%.
Or I'm gonna take a risk and I'm gonna be open and honest with this woman. And I'm so glad that we chose the latter.
And you were like, okay, sometimes like we talk about big picture, like vulnerability, transparency, like honesty, but like it's like, how do we do it? And I think you made it so simple for us to be like, let's just check in.
Let's be honest.
Like, let's just have a little moment where it's like, where you at, girl?
Where you at?
Where you at?
What's really
Where
going
you
on?
at? Are you okay? Oh my God.
Okay. Oh my God.
It's been beautiful. This is not goodbye.
No, this is let's go take a walk on the beach.
I'm not getting in the water though.
Oh. I really am. This is
and the
when peace like a river attended my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot thou hast taught me to say, it is well, it is well with my soul. It is well, it